There's entertainers and there's competitors, and I totally understand that, and my job is to compete.
If I'm the Browns, I'm cutting this guy today.
Yeah. Throw me a Gatorade, kid. Throw me a Gatorade.
I'm cutting this guy today. Not because he took a hack at Shedeur Sanders, and I like Shedeur Sanders, and I know his father, because he took a hack at another player, another Brown, and he did.
I know he said afterwards he didn't mean it, and he said he was talking about the media, but
listen, then go back and watch every one of his press conferences going clear back to college and see how many times he ever addressed the media as entertainers.
I will say, though, for, a third-round quarterback, who is, in a quarterback battle with 17 other guys, to get an interview and then to either take a shot at a teammate or the media, it seems like either way,
It's just
he went out of the way to make some sort of comment.
As long as we consistently, work at that and try to put more of those kind of drives together, you see our defense playing really well. And just putting each other in better positions.
Holy hell, man. If I'm in the media, I'm hoping Shadur gets a starting spot because this guy is dull.
I'm focused on doing. It's just part of it. There's entertainers and there's competitors. And I totally understand that. And my job is to compete. And that's what I'm focused on doing.
Cabot speculates that he could be moved for a late-round pick if the Browns do add a quarterback to the roster this offseason. Cleveland wasted a third-round pick on Dillon.
What happens when a man who had everything going for him, a team behind him, a coaching staff fighting for him, and a full opportunity to prove himself, throws it all away? Not because of bad luck, not because the system failed him, but because of his own ego. That's the Dillon Gabriel story. And right now, the NFL world is watching very closely to see what he says next. Hit that subscribe button right now, because this channel covers the NFL stories that the mainstream media is scared to touch. Every week, we go deeper, we go harder, and we give you the truth. You don't want to miss what's coming.
Look and say, all right, well, we don't necessarily think Dillon's a fit, and we added this other guy that we feel like is more of a fit, and we want him to be part of the competition or whatever. We need to trade Dillon Gabriel or get rid of Dillon Gabriel in some capacity. If they do that, if they somehow manage to move Dillon Gabriel.
Let's go back to the beginning, because before you judge anyone in this story, before you pick a side, you need to understand exactly how this situation was built, brick by brick. When Dillon Gabriel arrived in Cleveland, this was not a hostile environment. This was not a franchise trying to set him up to fail. The Cleveland Browns gave this man a genuine opportunity. He had backing, he had resources, and most importantly, he had a head coach, Kevin Stefanski, who was fully in his corner from day one. That's rare in the NFL. Most quarterbacks who come in fighting for a starting spot don't have that luxury. Most QBs walk into a room and feel the pressure immediately. Prove yourself or go home. Gabriel walked into a room with someone already holding a shield for him. And what did he do with that? He underperformed on the field. That alone would have been manageable. Every quarterback goes through growing pains, but it was what happened off the field that truly changed the trajectory of this story. Because at the same time Dillon Gabriel was struggling, someone else was rising. Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders, because this young man is the heart of everything happening in Cleveland right now. Coming in as a fifth-round pick, nobody handed Shedeur Sanders anything. Think about that for a second. A fifth-round pick. In NFL draft terms, that's the football world telling you, we're not sure about you. Prove it. And Shedeur Sanders said, fine, watch me. Every single day he showed up. Every single rep he competed. When the spotlight hit him, he didn't shrink. He delivered. Game-winning drives, clutch throws in high-pressure moments, a competitive edge that coaches dream about but cannot manufacture. You either have that fire or you don't. Shedeur Sanders has it. Now here's where the story gets real. In any healthy locker room, when a younger player starts pushing you, a true competitor responds by rising, by working harder, by saying, okay, you want this job? Come take it, because I'm not going anywhere without a fight. That's what competition looks like. That's what the NFL demands. But that's not what Dillon Gabriel chose to do.
Focus on doing. It's just part of it. You know, there's entertainers and there's competitors. And I totally understand that. And my job is to compete. And that's what I'm focused on doing.
Here's the moment that changed public perception of Dillon Gabriel forever. In one of his first preseason appearances, Gabriel was asked about the competition with Sanders, and instead of showing respect for a teammate who was grinding alongside him every day, Gabriel made a comment that instantly caught the attention of everyone around the league. He referred to Shedeur Sanders and players like him as entertainers, not competitors, entertainers. That one word revealed everything about the mindset of Dillon Gabriel at that moment in time. Think about what that says. You have a teammate who is outworking you, who is winning over the coaching staff, who is earning respect through sheer effort and execution, and your response is to dismiss him as entertainment? That is not trash talk. That is not competitive fire. That is a fundamental lack of respect for a teammate, for the process, and honestly, for the game itself. And it didn't stop at one comment. Every time Sanders made a big play, Gabriel reportedly found a way to minimize it. Every time Shadur impressed the coaching staff, Gabriel was right there trying to chip away at the moment. What started as a quarterback competition slowly turned into something far more personal, far more toxic. Now let's talk about Kevin Stefanski, because he carries real responsibility in how this unfolded. Stefanski saw everything that was happening, the inconsistency from Gabriel on game days, the attitude issues in the building, the fact that Shedeur Sanders was right there week after week, showing real ability and real leadership potential. And Stefanski still chose Gabriel every single week. He defended him publicly, he backed him internally, he reportedly even criticized his own offensive coordinator for not putting Gabriel in better positions to succeed. But here's the hard truth. Gabriel's struggles had very little to do with scheme or play calling. They had everything to do with Gabriel's own limitations as a player. When a head coach protects a quarterback from accountability, he is not helping him grow. He is standing in the way of that quarterback's development. And worse, by keeping Gabriel in the starting role, Stefanski was actively blocking Shedeur Sanders, a young man who earned his shot on the field every single day and kept being told, not yet. Fans were frustrated. People around the league were questioning the logic.
There's a quote that you said, there's entertainers and competitors, and I'm a competitor, and I understand there's entertainers. What context is that quote given?
You know, all of you in this room are entertainers, and you have a job to do, and I respect it, right? And I'm a competitor, so I have a job to do as well. And I think, you know, just understanding that, that's how I've lived by, and I've said that multiple times, so definitely not a new quote, but something that I've definitely said.
So you were referring to media as the entertainer?
Yeah, I just said that.
Can you, and just to clarify, I mean, I think, you know how social media is, I think some people are trying to take that as something that you probably did not mean it as. Some people are trying to make it out to be sort of a shot at Shadur. Can you just explain?
Yeah, first off, I'm all about our team, you know what I mean, and each other. I would never make that, and I've said it before, that's why it's interesting, but for me, I've explained it, entertainers are you all, competitor, that's what I am, and all my teammates, and we both have jobs to do, so that's it. You know, I think it's funny because, you know, I got a text from a good buddy of mine, and he sent me a picture of a fire station, you know, and like, it's kind of like, why are you sending that, you know? But when he sends it, you know, he just lists the obvious, right? Like, doors are open, garage doors are open, like, things are ready to go, and like, they're just waiting on that phone call to like respond surgically. And like, just what a great representation of like the job I had and being ready for that moment. And I think, you know, I smile because it's like a moment you prep for and you are extremely excited for, but also got to realize that it's extreme focus, and that's what I've continued to harp on. But you wait for the perfect time, you know, you're going to wait a whole lifetime. So for me, I've always been ready for every moment.
Then came Todd Monken, the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns. He walked into that building with fresh eyes, no prior commitments, no loyalty debts. He simply assessed the situation and he made the call. Dillon Gabriel was released. The The decision was decisive. It was justified. And honestly, it was long overdue. But the story doesn't end there, because the moment Gabriel was officially let go, insiders began reporting that he was already pointing fingers, already claiming there was a bias towards Shedeur Sanders within the organization, already suggesting that Andrew Berry's decision to move on from him was not legitimate. He is trying to play the victim. He is trying to rewrite the story before the story gets told without him. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Kevin Stefanski, now reportedly the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, is said to be not just trying to bring Gabriel to Atlanta, but actively encouraging him to go public with his complaints about the Browns organization. Think about what that means. A head coach, now with a different team, encouraging a quarterback to publicly attack his former employer. That is not just unusual. That is a serious breach of professional conduct. What we may be looking at is a coordinated effort between Stefanski and Gabriel to control the narrative, to paint Cleveland's new regime as the villain, to reframe a story about attitude and accountability as a story about organizational bias. But the facts simply do not back that version up. Gabriel had a head coach fighting for him at every turn. He had more runway than most quarterbacks in his position ever get. He squandered it on the field, and he poisoned his own standing off it. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders showed up every day. He competed with everything he had. He did not ask for special treatment. He did not demand the spotlight. He simply asked for a fair shot. He earned the respect of people around him, not through politics, but through performance, through preparation, through the quiet daily grind that separates players who make it from players who don't. And now, finally, he is in an environment where his talent is recognized, where his opportunity is real, where the noise has been cleared away and the real work can begin. Todd Monken has reset the tone in Cleveland. The culture is moving in a new direction, and the early signals suggest that Shedeur Sanders could be something very special in this league. So here's where I want to hear from you. Do you believe Gabriel's removal from Cleveland was the right decision, or do you think he deserved more time? What about Stefanski? Was his loyalty genuine belief in a player, or was there something else going on? And what about Shedeur Sanders? Did he get treated unfairly throughout all of this, or is that just the brutal reality of the NFL? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. If this video gave you something to think about, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to hear the real story. Because on this channel, we don't follow the narrative. We find the truth. See you in the next one.